This is the second horse of the day on March 19th, 2017. He had just refused to load for his owner and would go off to the side, and so I just had her demonstrate a few seconds on what he was doing. I had just loaded her neighbor's horse that walked up from down the road. So horses like to do that, go off to the side. That's where they find the release, and then people want to line them back up. When I walked to the trailer, I had him lined up, so I'm demonstrating that's what it would look like if I actually asked him to go to the side. I'd look where I want him to go and put pressure on, and he'd go to the side. But I'm not asking him to go to the side. I'm asking him to come inside the trailer, and he just goes off to either side because that's his MO, and that's where he's found his release. And as most people do, they will take him and line him up again, and then he'll just keep doing the same thing. So I use the whip to put pressure where he's formerly found a release of pressure. So he runs into it if he wants to go off to the side. If I do ever take him away from the trailer, and if it was my horse I wouldn't, I'm just trying to demonstrate to the owners that we go right-hand turns always. So I don't ever spin him around to the left, turn him to the right, head to the trailer. So horses do what works. This has worked for him, or he wouldn't do it. Once he realizes he runs into pressure, every time he goes over there to find relief, he will stop repeating that. But until it doesn't work reliably, and in the past it's worked reliably, so of course he is going to try it. When it doesn't work reliably, he's going to stop thinking about that, and eventually, if the handler's timing is correct, he won't ever do it again, because there's no reward in it. He won't repeat it. So I always get a lot of flack from some people that watched the older videos, or anytime a horse goes off the side and they say, "Stupid trainer, line the horse up, you're going to get him hurt." So because I do not force the horse on the trailer, but do it with a series of pressure and release and praise and asking to back off before they want to, the horses do not hurt themselves. I haven't got a horse hurt on the trailer in any job that I've gone to, because I'm not going to rush them on or get behind them and just whip them on and lock them up. That's when horses get hurt, when they're rushed on, spanked on with a broom or with the ropes. Then of course they're going to hurt themselves because they were forced on and panicked on. But when you can reason with them via pressure and release and praise, then soon they will work for you. And they'll trust you to keep them safe.
Now it's easier for me to get forward, right?
Okay.
This has to be ugly.
Yep.
In the other direction, same. And I have this hook here. Anytime he goes off on the side.
I use a rope halter
Okay.
over the top of the breakaway halter or leather shipping halter. We didn't need to use it at the end, and I don't ever use it with my own horses because I don't have to. But when I'm working with other people's horses that can get really strong, rearing, running backwards, I just want to afford myself the most strength that I can have. And the rope halter makes me strong as maybe 2.5 men. And gives me leverage, gives me a better correction. I don't ever use a chain over the nose because that's too much. It's overkill.
Yes.
And when a horse pulls back,
Yeah.
many times with the chain, it will cause him to rear even more and possibly get out of hand and then go running down the street with a chain over his nose. So
Okay.
I use a rope halter at first, and once the horse just understands give to pressure, then
Right.
it's not needed. I need to have
Okay.
every advantage I can have in working with animals this size that have tried every trick in the book and succeeded, or I wouldn't be there. So I have to have some type of leverage for a positive result. So you don't want to pull too hard. You want to maintain a steady pressure and weight, and when the horse gives, you have to give an immediate release. Right here, I
Okay.
held the pressure and then walked my hand back and pushed on him to make him back up, because I don't ever want to give him a release for doing what he's doing now, stalling out, so I can hold and wait or follow that rope back, or what I'm doing now, put the whip up, rub him first, say the word step so he has a chance to avoid the tap. When I tap him and he takes a step, even a little one, then I rub him, so I don't keep tapping him. And pretty soon he understands he's not just going to get whack, 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 that he's going to get a release of pressure when he steps forward and gives to that pressure. I did do groundwork with this horse away from the trailer, to work with the owner on setting her hands once she goes under the breast bar, and that's to keep the horse safe. And but this video is all in real time. There's nothing edited out, except for a second when we switch handlers. Also, after I loaded him, I didn't videotape her loading him the first time, but did it the second time. Also self-loaded him, and that wasn't taped. I don't think. And after we went for a ride, then she loads him herself at the end of this video. He was really nice to work with, even though he did some fancy moves earlier when lunging him and tried all kind of tricks, and he was swinging his head at his owner when she asked him to lunge, and just really flipping his head, cussing. And when I took him to lunge, he did it to me once. And that's it, because he got a correction for talking dirty to me. And then he was pretty compliant. But again, coming to the trailer, he's like, oh no, not gonna do it. So, gotta give him credit for trying. And he did really good. Once he exhausted the other possibilities that had worked for him in the past, then he, put some effort into loading on the trailer. And it was really nice to see him load again for his owner once the trailer moved. If I had just loaded him and quit after I self-loaded him and loaded him again, and not had the owner do it, I might get a phone call back and say, well, you did it that day, but went to take a trip and he won't load for me. That's why I make these normally 2-hour sessions complete by having the owner take the horse around the block and then load the horse themselves without me first priming the horse and getting them all really easy. And then we know if the horse is going to load for the owner or go back to his old tactics. So normally trailer loading is a 2-hour session, 1 hour to teach the owner and 1 for the horse. Generally it takes me 5 to 15 minutes if I just went to load the horse quickly, but I take my time and break it down for the animal. And again, I want a long-lasting effect that I don't have to be called back again. And normally I am not called back again because there's no longer a problem. Sometimes a year later I'm called back for a refresher, but normally 1 2-hour session and the horse is good to go. The reason this one was only an hour and a half is the 2 people split the job and I didn't have to do more, but normally it's 2 hours. The pawing here is try. He's really thinking about doing it.
Your boy.
He's not being aggressive. He's nervous. There's been many times where somebody had to get somewhere in a hurry, a vet's or late to somewhere, and I've gone out and they might be working 2 hours and they just want the horse on the trailer. And I tell them I can probably get them on in 10 minutes. And they laugh. And I said, but you're paying me for 2 hours. Because I'm not leaving my house. And to go an hour away, drive an hour away, and not get paid for 2 hours in a farm call. So tell them if they want the 2 hours, I'll put it in. But sometimes they just want to get that horse on the trailer and be gone, and I've done that as well. But it's not going to help them any, except for that moment. So might as well get a good session in, get the groundwork in, and get your skills solid so your horse stays safe and you don't have to be aggravated. And if you want to go somewhere, the horse just loads up. Everybody's happy. Win-win.
I don't want him to get out, but when he gets out, I'm going to tell him when he gets back.
Okay. So he chose to do that on his own.
He wanted to back out, and I didn't ask him
Okay.
back. Now I'm going to ask him before he wants out.
Okay.
Back.
So he did self-load after this, and then his owner took him around the block.
I want you to take over while he's still not moving.
Okay. Steady pressure. Hold. Pick up your whip by
Again,
maintaining
that's a
that
muscle
pressure
memory.
and just put it over to the side of
Him
him.
going
When he
off
comes
to the
forward,
side.
release the pressure on your
It's just a
on the
muscle
left
memory
hand.
that will go away eventually. I
Yeah,
don't know if you
release.
could hear me speaking on the video in the beginning.
Go
when I
the other
asked
side,
her,
back and forth. Just shut
when you
both
lead your
those
horse
doors.
into the stall
Spank,
in
spank,
the
spank.
evening,
Let that rope
when you go
lay
to the
on the
stall and
ground.
line him up, does he ever throw
Well,
his
hold
fanny
it in
out to
one
the
hand.
side? Of course not.
I don't
You
want
know,
it
they
wrapped.
throw their fanny
I don't
out to
want
the
it
side
wrapped around
because
your
they
hand.
have
You
no
can switch it
intention
back
of
and forth,
going
but
in
ask
that
him
trailer.
to come in. Steady
It's not
pressure.
because you didn't line
Let
him up.
all that
Of
hang on
course
the ground.
you
Yeah.
walk toward the
And
trailer and
release.
you're walking
Good.
straight
Give
in.
him pet his head.
So
You can put the whip down and just pick
A
it
lot
up
of
again
people
if you
get
need it.
nuts about the rope in the
So
hand
go
when
inside
I
the trailer. You got a long
let
rope.
it go on the
Steady
ground when
pressure.
I'm using the whip. But
Hold.
the timing, the pressure, the release is important.
See if you can go off the
you
side
know,
a little bit.
and so if you're minding all
And
this
release.
rope or
Yeah,
wrapping
pet
it
his
around
head.
your hand, that's dangerous. So that's why a lot of times if I'm using the whip, I'll just hang on to the rope
Okay.
a few feet
Back up
from
into
the
the trailer.
horse's
Hold
face,
steady
not
pressure.
right under his chin.
Step.
And then I can mind the pressure and release.
Pick up your whip
and
and
it can
put it on
be
his wither. There
immediate
you go.
when I
Release.
release that rope when
We'll
he
wait a minute and see if he
gives
goes
to
in.
pressure.
You can pet his head. Tell him step again. Remember, light on the face. There you go. He's going to park out. So light. Now you can go very light
and
in here, but
talking,
bump
so
his face
I
to
did
the
not
trailer
do a
if he
good
turns his
job
head around. So you got to just
because
bump him to the
I
trailer.
was
Give him a
talking and
release.
looking through the
So with light
viewfinder.
pressure on that rope, pick up your whip and just put it up to his wither gently. But when he comes forward, release that pressure on his face. Yeah, release it. And exhale. And then just see if you can use the rope, steady pressure. And if not, bring the whip up. Light face, yep. There you go. Tap. Don't release the pressure on his face. There you go. Release. Good. Step. Exhale. Give him a rub. You can let him hang out there. You can grab him a bite of hay if you want.
Just thinking that.
Bring his head to the trailer. He can't be looking behind himself. Then steady pressure again. And release, yeah. Step. Soft on the face, that's it. Step. Good job. Don't let him hit his head on that breast bar, so mind his head. You can choke up on your line a little bit. Soft on the face, there you go, very good. Keep his head toward you, don't let him turn around. Soft on the face. Tap him with the whip gently. Step. And release. Good. Exhale. And then you can back him off. Drop your whip. Take him for a walk to the right.
Inside the trailer,
And
we
load
use
him up again.
the clip from Smart Tie,
Loose line
can
on his
use
face.
a
Yep.
blocker tie ring.
Right hand turn. He's crowding you.
You want the horse to
Okay.
be safe in there.
Look
Once
to the
we
trailer.
load,
Act like
she
he's going to get on.
removed
Steady
the rope
pressure. Off
halter
side. Loose line now. Loose
and
line.
clipped him
Walk
to
right
his
ahead of
leather
him.
halter.
Steady pressure. Release. Yeah.
Even if you don't tie,
Steady pressure.
excuse me,
Release.
yawning. Even if you don't tie him to the
Again,
rope
bump his
halter,
face to the
you
trailer.
don't want to
If
leave
he's
it
looking away
on
soft there, straight line
because
from his face
when
to
the
your
horse
hand.
offloads,
Pick up the
he
whip,
could
soft
catch a
pressure on
pin,
his face.
the pin that holds the
Watch
breast
his
bar,
head.
or anything else in there on the big loop under the chin on the rope halter. So once the difficult horse loads and the butt bar is up and the tailgate is up and he's tied, then
Look where you want him to go. That's it.
tied to the leather
Soft.
halter,
There you go.
then you can remove the
Good.
rope halter.
See if he'll stay in there a little
And
bit. All right.
once he's loading good here,
took
he
him
has
for a
no
ride
rope
around the
halter. He got
block.
back. It's not needed
Steady
now
pressure. She did just
because
load him
the
up. I
whole
couldn't get the
pressure
camera out
and
quick enough.
release, he
walked right
understands
on.
it, and
It's like, wait a minute,
it's
we're
not
home.
needed
That's
for
all right,
a
it's more
leverage
practice.
that we needed
Release.
initially.
Go ahead and pet his head.
But many
Point his
horses
head to
get
the
so
trailer,
strong
though.
that they'll drag their handlers right off the trailer, and
Step.
if that's the case, then continue to use
And
the
release,
rope
yep.
halter, but don't forget
One
to
more
take it
foot.
off
Perfect.
once the horse is
Good
secured
job.
and everything's locked up. You just don't want to leave that on because it won't break. There's no hardware on it. And this video here I just added at the end because so many people will say, why do you have to use whips? Why do you have to do this? Why are you so mean? This is a horse that was leaving my farm. I didn't have anything. This is how a horse should load, on the trailer every time, no matter what it is. And when they do load like this, this is what I do. I don't have all the equipment. But when I go out to a problem loader,